Hello everybody and welcome to another board game discussion video. Today's topic is all about me lying to you. I know it sounds weird, but the fact is that a while ago on New Year's I had talked about how my shelves were full and I couldn't reach the top and all of this kind of thing, and so it's time to stop buying board games. But you know what happened? I bought more board games, and also I backed more Kickstarters that are on the way. But I wanted to go over some of the new things that I had gotten because first off, I'm really excited about some of them because some of them are relatively rare, and secondly, some of them are games that I had talked about previously in my upcoming excited about videos, and so I hope that you guys enjoy it. I'm kind of just gonna run through the list real quick. It's not really anything sort of structured, but that said, I do want to hear about any games that you guys have recently acquired, anything that you've been able to play. The nice thing is that most of the games I've gotten are relatively light, and so I'm able to play them with my family and all of this kind of stuff, and some of them actually involve some recent Kickstarters as well. But that said, we're just going to sort of dive in and kind of go through the list so that we can see what we've got. So first and foremost is Reef, 2nd edition. This is one of the games that I had talked about and one that I'm really excited about, as well as games about nature, where the idea is that you're building up a coral reef. I myself have a reef tank that I've been taking care of for a few years, and I've got some gorgeous corals in it. I'm really proud of it, as well as some of the stuff that I've done as far as modifications to make it much easier to run. And this particular game is really nice because I think it invokes some environmentalism, responsibility, and kind of awareness in people, or at least I hope it does, but maybe I have too high of hopes. Either way, Reef, it's a great little game, very light, a lot of fun, and I'm proud to have it in my collection. Next up, a very similar game, Renature. This is one that I had in my new and upcoming board games a couple of months ago, I believe, and the idea is that you are trying to take a sort of desolate wasteland and allow nature to come back. So again, talking about environmentalism, things like following the explosion of Mount St. Helens and us realizing, hey, volcanic ash makes really good fertilizer. You know why? Because it's full of carbon. And you know what else? Once you have a bunch of carbon, then you can get a bunch of little microbacteria that are sitting in there going through the nitrogen cycle. I'm not going to get too far into it, but it's a lot of fun, and it's very scientific and very biological, and it's a ton of fun. And the game itself is wonderful. It's got some great mechanics. It's got some deep strategy in it. It's a lot of fun, and I'm super excited to have it in my collection. Next up, I've got Mutant Insurrection. So this is the new game that came to us from Fantasy Flight, and one that I had mentioned previously is probably the reason that we don't have more X-Men in Marvel Champions. And not only did I get the base game, but I even got the actual official playmat for it as well. Yeah, buddy, I'm fancy like that. I'm super cool. So the idea of this is that you're basically playing as the X-Men, and this is mostly a nostalgia trip for me personally because I watched the animated TV show as a kid, and this is that sort of thing where the idea is that you're going against the Sentinels, trying to save people, all of that sort of thing. Again, another game that I had that I was really looking forward to and super excited to have it in my collection. Next up, Marvel United, another Marvel game. Hooray! So this is kind of an interesting one because this is the base Marvel game, and one of the FOMO things that I talked about not too long ago was Marvel United X-Men. So I bet you can't guess one of the games that I backed, but suffice to say it doesn't come with the base game. So I don't know, but either way, this is a miniatures based game where again it's cooperative and you get to go against all of the bad guys. You can set up all sorts of different scenarios. Ton of fun, great game, really awesome because it has some of my favorite characters, in this particular case primarily focused on the Avengers, but the X-Men one not so much because it has Kurt, my absolute favorite X-Man of all time, and so I may or may not have been forced by my own brain to back that, but that's beside the point. Next up, I have Genotype. Genotype is a game that I actually backed on Kickstarter some time ago, and I am so stoked about this. This is one of the newer games from Genius Games, one of my favorite companies, and this is all about Mendelian genetics. classic genetics. This is your little a, big A, little a, 50-50, heterozygote, homozygote, all of that kind of stuff. Homozygous recessive, homozygous dominant. How are you going to make your pea plants? What are they going to look like? That is what this game is, and I love it. It's literally called a Mendelian genetics game. As a biologist, as a molecular biologist, I am super excited, and nobody is going to take this away from me. I'm going to love it forever and ever and ever, and I am super excited, and it's a really awesome and well done game, just like so many of the Artana Genius Games combination games that they've been coming out with lately. Absolutely incredible. Next up, I've got Scourge of Skullport. That's right, I finally got the expansion to Lords of Waterdeep. This adds so much depth and a ton of fun, in addition to the fact that it has a picture of Xanathar on it. It doesn't have its goldfish though, I don't think, which is rather unfortunate. But even so, you add a lot more depth to the game, you add more quests, you add some more buildings that you can get to with your workers, all sorts of different stuff like that. I mean, it's just by far one of the best expansions in board gaming. Highly recommend that you're able to get this. I was glad to have it. I got it on sale, and so very excited to have it and add it to my Lords of Waterdeep collection. Very, very fun. Next up, I've got this. This is a brand new game, The Hunted, from GMT Games. Now, you guys know I'm not a big war gamer, but the idea is that this is The Hunted Twilight of the U-Boats, and from 1943 to 1945. This is a very unique game in that it is actually designed as a solo experience, with the idea being that you are controlling the U-Boats and trying to track all of the Allied forces and essentially blow them up. And the idea is that you've got different types of U-boats that you're able to take out, and you're going against an AI opponent. Very, very unique, and it does have a variant that is for 2 players. Let me repeat that. A variant for 2 players, because again, it is designed for solo. I am super excited to try this out. I actually don't know very much about it because it was just released this year, and so I'm really excited about it. It feels like another real war game for my collection, for those of you who are real war gamers, so I can feel more legitimate. So hooray! The Hunted, another great game that I managed to pick up. Very excited. Next up, I have Abyss. This is a game that I first played years ago, and I fell in love with it. The art, the mechanics, the overall concept is just incredible. It kind of combines the idea of Aquaman with The Little Mermaid, for lack of a better term, where the idea is that you've got different factions that exist underwater and in the abyss that are trying to take over and vie for power and the throne. And it's a card-laying game, but the thing is that the artwork alone is almost worth it. I mean, you can even see on the box, it doesn't even say the name of the game. It's just this dude. You have to look at the side of the box to even see what the name of the game is. Absolutely incredible experience, wonderfully immersive, and I absolutely love it. Abyss, another new game. This is one of my newest games, actually, that I had recently picked up. Last but certainly not least, probably the game that I am most proud of, Lord of the Rings, The War of the Ring. I am so excited that I managed to get this game. On top of that, I managed to get it at retail price. No price gouging, no scalpers. I got it at regular price. It is the 2nd edition, but I don't care because I get to take all of Gondor and Rohan and fight against the evils of Isengard and Mordor, while at the same time trying to bring the Fellowship forward and bring the ring to Mount Doom and destroy it in a hidden movement / battle game / pretty much everything else that you would expect from a full-fledged J.R.R. Tolkien approved War of the Ring, Lord of the Rings board game. Well, I assume that he would approve of it he's dead. But his estate approved of it. That's why they're able to make it. But I'm really excited about it because this is a really tough game to get your hands on without a ton of price gouging. And so I'm very, very happy to have it. So hooray. So excited for that. But that said, those are at least most of the new games that I got. I do have a few others that are still wrapped in cellophane, lying around in various places, but I'm not going to talk too much about those. And once again, I did mention in the new year that I was running out of space, and I had no space. And apparently I found some more space for stuff, and like I said, I have other Kickstarters coming in, so I have nobody to blame but myself. But these are games that I really was excited about. Again, I've talked a lot about them, or most of them, in my previous videos of new and upcoming board games, so I'm very excited to have a whole bunch of them. I'm very excited to have them in my collection now. Now the question is where they're going to go, because I don't have a lot of room. But that said, still super excited, and that's pretty much it. It's enough rambling for me as always. Hope that you guys enjoyed the introduction to some of my new games. Again, I'm very excited for it. I'm really excited to have them, particularly the U-boat one, being able to play solo. I really want to get that to the table as soon as I possibly can. But as always, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your new acquisitions are, if you have any. Please put them in the comments below because I would love to hear all about them. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please take a look at my various social media pages where you can interact with myself and my channel in a bunch of fun ways. Last but certainly not least, as we are in that time, we are beating back COVID. We are winning, here in the US at least, but remember, the battle is not over. We are winning the fight, but the war is still raging. We have variants that are spreading that are really, really bad. Go get vaccinated if you already haven't, please. I know sometimes it's scary, but please go and do it because it really does help, and it will help us as a country and as a planet to fight this thing off. But that's enough of being somber. Again, hope you enjoyed my little presentation for my new games. I'm super excited about them. Hope you guys are too, and let me know what your new acquisitions are. But thank you so much for watching. Hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.